Some stories were never meant to be found. This is where we uncover crimes, disappearances, and the creepiest mysteries hidden online.
Ged Code Diaries.
Dark Side. In the age of travel and technology, the world feels smaller than ever. A single app can connect strangers in seconds. A single meeting can change everything. In December 2018, in the heart of Auckland, one young traveler would unknowingly cross paths with a man hiding something far darker. Her name was Grace Millane. Grace Millane was 22 years old. Born and raised in the United Kingdom, she had recently graduated from university. Friends described her as warm, adventurous, and independent. The kind of person who embraced life fully, someone who wanted to see the world beyond her comfort zone. After finishing her studies, Grace made a decision many young people dream of: to travel. Her journey took her across continents, from South America's vibrant cities to the breathtaking landscapes of New Zealand. She shared her experiences online, photos, smiles, moments frozen in time. To her family, everything looked perfect. But sometimes, what we see is only part of the story. Grace arrived in New Zealand in late 2018. Her final stop, Auckland, a modern, bustling city surrounded by natural beauty, a place where tourists come to explore, relax, and feel safe. She checked into a backpackers' hostel in the city center. There, she continued her routine, exploring by day, socializing by night. Nothing seemed out of place until December 1st. Like many travelers, Grace used dating apps to meet new people. On the evening of December 1st, she matched with a man on Tinder. His name was Jesse Kempson. At first glance, nothing about him stood out. He appeared ordinary, approachable, normal. They exchanged messages, and within hours, they agreed to meet. CCTV footage would later show Grace and Kempson meeting in central Auckland. They visited multiple bars. They talked, laughed, shared drinks. To anyone watching, it looked like a typical first date. There were no visible signs of danger, no indication of what was about to happen. Later that night, they left together, returning to Kempson's apartment in the city. It was the last confirmed sighting of Grace Millane alive. Inside that apartment, something went terribly wrong. Kempson would later claim that Grace's death was accidental, the result of consensual activity that went too far. But the evidence told a different story. Investigators would later determine that Grace died from sustained pressure to the neck, a prolonged act, not a sudden accident. After her death, Kempson did not call for help. Instead, he began to plan. In the hours following Grace's death, Kempson's actions were chillingly methodical. He searched the internet for explicit material and methods of disposing of a body. He took photographs of Grace's body. Then he went out. CCTV footage captured him shopping for cleaning supplies, a suitcase, other items. Later, he was seen bringing those items back into his apartment. To the outside world, everything appeared normal. But behind closed doors, a crime was being concealed. Back in the United Kingdom, Grace's family waited. December 2nd was her birthday. Messages were sent, calls were made, but there was no response. At first, it seemed like a simple delay, a missed message, a busy day. But as hours turned into days, worry turned into panic. Something wasn't right. Police in Auckland launched a missing person investigation. They retraced Grace's steps. Her last known movements led directly to Jesse Kempson. When questioned, Kempson lied. He claimed Grace had left his apartment alive, but the evidence didn't support his story. CCTV footage showed him alone, using her belongings, moving suspiciously. Then came a critical discovery.
Footage revealed Kempson transporting a large suitcase. He rented a car, drove out of the city to a remote area. There, he buried Grace's body. Days later, police would locate the site. The search was over, but the case was just beginning. The trial of Jesse Kempson began. The courtroom became the center of intense public attention. The prosecution laid out the evidence, the timeline, the forensic findings, the digital trail. They argued that this was not an accident. It was deliberate, controlled, intentional. The defense maintained that Grace's death was accidental, a tragic outcome of consensual behavior. But the jury had to decide which version of events was the truth. After deliberation, the jury returned. Guilty. Jesse Kempson was convicted of murder. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 17 years before parole. Justice had been served, but for Grace's family, the loss remained. The story of Grace Millane is one of contrast, adventure and danger, trust and betrayal, a normal night that turned into a tragedy. It's a reminder of how quickly situations can change and how even ordinary moments can carry unseen risks. But beyond the headlines, beyond the courtroom, Grace is remembered not for how her story ended, but how she lived. A daughter, a traveler, a life full of promise. Gone, but never forgotten.